Everyone's hyped about Dubai's demand. However, today I want to flip the script and talk about the supply of the property market and how the population factors into the supply, because the numbers may not be what you think. To understand the demand of the Dubai property market, you need to understand the population. As of making this video, the population is sitting at around about 3.86 million people, with this set to increase to double by 2040. Now, if you just take a look in your screens, I'm now bringing up the actual population growth over the last few years in Dubai. You'll probably notice a few things. Obviously, last year we had a population growth of 200,000 people. But if you take a look at the years where we had COVID, the population growth was a lot more steady. A really key thing that I like to highlight out to investors is that you'll probably notice before COVID, we had 277,000 people coming to the country, which is greater than what we saw this year of 200,000 people. However, there is one key difference that you have to understand as an investor looking at the Dubai property market, is that the type of population has changed pre-COVID compared to post-COVID. After COVID, we've seen a lot more investors come from Europe who are used to much higher prices and much higher cost of living, with a lot more heavy taxes involved in their lifestyle, buy properties in Dubai. From their point of view, they're seeing a much more affordable market in Dubai, which is therefore driving the prices up to a rate that we've never seen in the market before. Population matters because this is fundamentally the demand. There's no one in the country needing and wanting to rent these properties. The price of these properties is not going to go up in the rate that you want it to. Now, to take a look at the other side of the equation, which is the supply, there are around about 600,000 units ready by the end of 2024. And by 2031, with the current launches and projects which have been announced, there will be 975,000 units. That will be 360,000 apartments over 7 years, and not every area can absorb that supply. This number will increase by 2031 because there'll be a new project launched tomorrow, for example, which is handing over in 3 years, but it's not showing on our data set just as yet. I've been building a heat map and showing you exactly where all of the supply is coming up in the market in the given year and in the given area. I would love to go through 163 areas today. However, I think my editors might kill me. But today I'm going to go through the top 10 most supplied areas and talk about them briefly to give you an idea of the context of this. Number 1 on the list, which will have the most units ready by 2031, is Jumeirah Village Circle. Currently, today, they have 39,000 ready units, and at the end of 2031, they will have 71,000 ready units, which is actually an increase of 81% over the next 7 years. Out of this whole list, it's actually the area which is going to have the most increase in supply. To give you some sort of background to JVC, the area is mostly apartments with some townhouses and villas. The developers there are all from different nationalities, different backgrounds, and they are building to a pretty loose guideline within JVC to whatever quality and standard that they do want. With the supply coming to the market, we have to ask the question, is there going to be a saturation of properties? Is there going to be an issue with the traffic coming up? And are the infrastructure improvements happening around JVC, for example, the Hesse Street expansion, going to ease that supply coming up? Another question to ask as well is there any future infrastructure projects coming up in JVC away from residential projects, which are going to increase the demand of the community? Historically, JVC has offered great affordability, but coming back to this question of hype, has the market been hyped up and charging prices which maybe are not justified for that given location? I just want to highlight that future supply in JVC is pretty much coming over the next 3 years rather than spanned out over the next 7 years. So we may see more and more supply coming up in the future years, which is still going to hand over by 2031. Dubai Marina is the third one on the list with the most units handed over by 2031. Dubai Marina has always been one of the most supplied areas of Dubai because it is so prime, with so many people knowing it throughout the world. In Dubai Marina currently there are 32,000 units, and there will be 38,000 units, which is only an 18% increase in supply. Dubai Marina, in my opinion, is one of the more interesting locations to invest in right now because there is physically no more plots of land to build on. And as I mentioned, Dubai Marina is a household name which has taken decades to get known around the world. as synonymous with the city of Dubai. With this now coming to a limitation, we're coming to the ceiling of what can be delivered in Dubai Marina. Anything that you're picking up now, which is going to be new or off plan, will always be the best and the newest tower in a central location with the best amenities. So it's a really interesting area to look into for anyone investing in Dubai. Downtown Dubai is where the Burj Khalifa is and the Dubai Mall is, and currently sits at 24,000 units and will get to 28,000 units, which is an 18% increase in supply, and sits on number 6 on our list for the most supplied areas by 2031. There are some really key reasons why people should be buying into downtown Dubai, because it is such a central location. However, it does follow the same narrative as what we have with the Marina right now, where we're coming to really the end of the life cycle of what you can buy in downtown Dubai with very, very limited plots. A lot of developers are taking advantage of buying into such a central location and being one of the last plots and branding them with some really key names such as the Baccarat, where they're pricing units from 10 million dirhams minimum. If you're considering downtown Dubai, it's a really strong area to invest in. Dubai Sports City is very close to JVC, currently at 22,000 units and will be 27,000 units by the end of 2031, which is a 22% increase in supply. Dubai Sports City follows the same narrative as JVC, where there are a lot of developers building out here. It's an area which is actually quite interesting because a lot of Dubai Sports City was sold before the 2008 crisis. So what actually happened is a lot of these developers went bust before Dubai introduced their strict escrow account rules. So if you currently drive through Dubai Sports City now, you will find a lot of abandoned concrete structures which were from the 2008 financial crisis. What currently is happening with Dubai Sports City now with developers is that they're buying up these existing plots with the foundations built and the concrete structures in place, and then completing them under a new project name. I do want to make the point, and I do want to stress that sometimes I speak to investors who are a little bit skeptical about buying into what we call a rescue project. However, to put your mind at ease, the quality of a project has nothing to do with the concrete structure or the foundations. It only has to do with the finishings. The difference between a 5-star building and a 1-star building has nothing to do with the concrete. The regulations on how you build the buildings out here are all identical. It's all to do with how the developer focuses on finishing the apartment, the hallways, and the amenities. So there is some really, really good opportunities in Dubai Sports City with their rescue projects. Next on our list, we have Jumeirah Lake Towers, also known as JLT. Jumeirah Lake Towers sits just behind Dubai Marina and is often viewed as a business district very similar to Business Bay. Quite interestingly, they also have the same commercial to residential split at around about 31 to 32% commercial in JLT. A lot of people love to work and live in JLT because you're very close to the businesses, but also very close to such a prime location, which is Dubai Marina. Following on suit from Dubai Sports City, a lot of reclaimed projects are being redeveloped into new towers, which can be a very interesting investment for some people looking to buy something in Dubai. A lot of people forget that in 2015, the market was very, very hot. When Expo was announced, this was actually the largest worldwide global campaign, allowing a lot of developers to sell a lot of new off-plan properties. When these off-plan properties started to hand over the next 3 to 4 years, a lot of areas in Dubai started to take a hit in value because there was genuinely an oversupply of property and not enough people to live in these properties. We're now currently in a very similar situation where the market is completely different, a lot more in demand. Dubai is a completely different city with new rules and regulations attracting so many people from across the world, especially the Western world, to the city. However, with that, a lot of supply which is now being launched today. And some of these areas on this list is having a lot of supply which is not justified for that given area. So we very much might see, with the prices that they're being launched at, a dip in prices as we saw between 2015 to just before COVID. Now, I'm not saying this means that every area on this list is a bad investment. That is not the case at all. A lot of these areas on this list have a real reason why they need the supply, because they're either central or prime locations, very well connected, or near new infrastructure projects which people need to be close to. If you're looking for data-backed advice and someone to really help understand your requirements and help guide you through the Dubai property market, please feel free to reach out. My contact details are below. If you like these videos and my content, please also subscribe and like this video and hit the notification bell too.